All right, again, when you log in, this is what you're going to see. This is going to be your home page. Now, your home page isn't going to look exactly like mine because it's totally configurable. If I want this gadget over here in the middle, I can go to the heading in the gadget, I can click and drag it, place it wherever I want. If there's a gadget on my page that's taking up too much space, I can go to the heading of the gadget, go to the minimize, and now just the heading's there. When I'm ready to use that gadget, I can go and maximize it. If there's a gadget on my page that's taking up too much space, or for example, I don't have any listings, I can go to the X in the gadget and I can completely throw it away. It's nowhere on my page. If you ever close anything down by accident or you need it at a later time, if you find your additional gadget and maximize it, there's my listings. I can drag them out, put them back on my page. However you leave your page, that's the way it's going to look on any device. So when configuring your home page, you may want to keep in mind your smallest device, putting your more important gadgets at the top, so you don't have as much scrolling on that smaller device. The first gadget here, news and alerts. From time to time when you log into the system, you're going to get a pop-up message with important information from the board. Initially, there'll be two buttons at the bottom. It'll say, I've read this, or I'll read this later. If you click on read later, it'll come and remind you until you've had a chance to read it. If you click on I've read this, it'll go away, but it'll store over here on the side in case you need to refer to it. Now this is the only gadget that's not configurable. You can't move it, you can't close it down. It's always going to be on the top of your page. The next gadget, Hotsheets. Matrix has the normal hot sheet type functionality. You can run your hot sheet for the last 24 hours, today since midnight, 3 days back, 7 days back. You can even run a custom up to 30 days back. And initially your hot sheet's going to be set up for the entire MLS. But you can come down here to customize, and we'll customize my residential, so I'll edit the criteria. And you can set your hot sheet up for anything you want. A certain city, a certain subdivision, price range homes, zip code. You can even go into the map and you can say, this is the part of the MLS that I work in. That's what I want to keep an eye on. So now when you save that, and go back to your home page and run your residential hot sheet, it's going to show you activity in just the area that you've defined. It's going to show you new listings, any listings that have gone pending, have sold, withdrawn. So the activity just in the area that you're interested in keeping an eye on. Also under Customize, if you'd like to, you can add additional hot sheets. So maybe you have your residential set up for that part of the MLS, but you want to drill into waterfront properties or 5-bedroom homes, whatever criteria you want, and you can add additional hot sheets down here that fall underneath the rentals. So you have all kinds of hot sheet functionality. In fact, this next gadget, Market Watch, is nothing other than another hot sheet. It does the exact same functionality. It shows you new listings, price changes, listings that have sold, expired. It just shows it in a more graphical way. You can run your Market Watch for the last 24 hours, today since midnight, 3 days back, 7 days back. And again, you can customize this to be whatever you want. Initially, it's going to be the whole MLS, but you can set it up for anything you want. So maybe you've got your hot sheet set up for that part of town that we drew on the map, but maybe your Market Watch you have set up for a certain subdivision. Or maybe you have them both set up exactly the same. Hot sheet just puts everything in one report, whereas the Market Watch breaks it down into the individual sections. As you change time frames, it'll update the results. So that's all the same functionality, both of those gadgets. This next gadget here, my favorite searches. I really like this gadget because any search that you go into the system and define with whatever criteria you want, you have the ability, if you want to save that search to this gadget. And then at any given time, you can click on it and see right this second what matches whatever the criteria is you have set up. But what I really like about it is if I go to start my day, I can come down here and click on update all. It's going to run all of those searches, and it's going to tell me since the last time I looked at each individual search, how many new listings or price changes there's been. So we just looked at everything that matches Lake Havasu, so there's nothing new. But the one I have called Kingman, since I looked at it last, which may have been yesterday, could have been last week, there's 3 new listings or price changes. If I clicked on the 3 new, it would show me just the new activity. If I click on the name, it would show me everything that matches. So to me, it's a type of hot sheet. It doesn't show me everything. It doesn't show me what's sold and expired, but it shows me the most important thing, right? What new offerings there are in any of the markets that I keep an eye on. This next gadget, My Stats, we're going to talk about the statistics in just a few minutes, but I just wanted to mention at this point that any statistic that I create, I have the ability, if I want to save it to this gadget, and then at any given time I can click on it and get up to the minute statistics. My carts. The carts in Matrix are totally different than the carts in Anovia. The carts in Matrix are nothing but a repository, a place for you to stick listings so you can refer back to them. For example, let's say you're sitting and you're working with one of your clients, you're running searches, you're looking at listings, and you come across a couple listings. Oh, these might be really good for another one of my clients. You can quickly take those listings, stick them in that other client's cart, keep on doing what you're doing with this client. When this client leaves, or later in the day, or tomorrow, you could go to that other client's cart, look at the listings, research the listings, email the listings, whatever you wanted to do. Another interesting thing I've seen people doing with carts is every time they take a client and show them properties, they'll put those properties in that client's cart. Then 2-3 weeks down the road, you can sit down with that client and go, okay, here's the 8 houses we've been to see. Look how many of them now are off the market. Because once you put a listing in a cart, it's going to stay in that cart until you take it out of the cart. So if it's changed price, it's changed status, it's going to show you the current state of those listings. I had a gentleman in class a couple months ago that his client didn't have email. So the only way he could show them properties was to print them out and hand it to them. Well, then he'd come across a listing a day or two later. Oh, have I shown this to Joe? And he couldn't remember. So what he did for Joe is every time he printed out a listing, he put the listing in his cart. And then if he came across a listing, oh, has Joe seen this? He could look in the cart and go, oh yeah, I already showed it to him. So any use you can think of for carts, it's a way for you to put listings aside, tied to yourself. You have one for yourself, or tied to a client so you can refer back to them. The important thing to note is your client knows nothing about what's in his cart unless you show it to him. It's strictly for you to track those listings. The next gadget, My Listings, pretty self-explanatory. If I had any listings, I'd have a link there to my active listings, my office listings. So just a quick link to get to the listings that fall in any of those categories. The additional gadget we already talked about. That's where any gadget goes that you throw it away so you can retrieve it. Now a lot of these gadgets are going to be empty when you log in today. For example, my favorite searches, My Stats. are going to be empty because you haven't saved anything to that gadget. By the same token, recent use contacts will also be empty. Now, we brought all of your contacts over for you. All the contacts that you had in Innovia, when you log in today, are in Matrix. As long as they had a first name, a last name, and an email address. They needed those three things, and we brought them over for you. But even though your contacts are in the system, this gadget will be empty. Because what this gadget does is when you do something for a client, you send them some listings, you set them up for auto notification, you update their information, the system's automatically going to put a link to that contact there for you. The system assumes that if you've done something for a contact, you're probably going to do something else. This is one of the contacts that you're actively working with. Now, I could always come over here to my Matrix contacts, look through my 300 contacts, find Jessica Smith, click on her name, but being that she's one of the people that I'm actively working with, there's a link right there to get to her detailed information.
Is it only going to show 3 or?
It'll show up to 10, and then your oldest one will fall off, but as soon as you do something for them again, they'll go to the top of the list.
Can you minimize it? It doesn't look like you can minimize it.
Minimize it? Sure. If you don't want to see it on there, you just go there. And
I'm just
minimize.
thinking of privacy.
The next gadget, recent portal visitors. What the portal is, it's your client's view of the information that you've shared with them. All of your clients have a portal. So all the people that we brought over from Innovia, they have a portal right now. They don't know anything about the portal because you haven't shared any information with them out of Matrix, but they all have a portal. The way I like to think of this gadget is the people that you see in this gadget are the ones that are really looking to buy a house. They're going to the information you've shared with them. They're going to their portal, they're running searches, they're actively looking at real estate. It tells you the last time they were on their portal. While your clients are on their portal, they can categorize listings. Oh, this one's my favorite, I really like these. Or, this one's a possibility, it's priced a little high, but I want to keep an eye on it. So they can categorize listings so they can keep up with them. If they categorized any listings while they were on their portal, you'll have this little icon here, heart, light bulb. If you click on that, you can see the listings that they've categorized. So it keeps you informed of what your client's interested in. Also, while they're on their portal looking at listings, they can put notes on a listing, things that they like about a listing, questions for you. If while they were on their portal they left any notes, you'll have this little envelope here. If you click on that envelope, it'll show you the note. You can respond to the note, so you can actively communicate with your client on their portal. Now, we're going to talk a lot about the portal throughout the session today, so I think it's important for you to really have a good understanding of it. So we're going to leave Matrix for a couple minutes. We're going to become one of our clients. So this is what your client sees. Again, the portal puts everything real estate related in one place for them. On this tab over here, My Agent, this is where you can put information about yourself, about your brokerage, about the area, whatever you want. So unfortunately, you guys are going to leave here today with homework. Because what you're going to want to do before you start sending things to your clients out of the system is you're going to want to define how this is going to look for your clients. You're going to configure how you want the header to be, what information you want on here. So right before we go to break, I'm going to show you how to configure this to represent yourself the way that you want to your clients. Yes, ma'am.
Is that a stock text that's on there that will be able
Nope.
to?
You can put anything in there you want.
Can I take a picture of that?
Sure. Actually, this I copied out of like an auto notification. So there's some information that you can get in there. But I mean, you can put information in there about the Kingman area, about your brokerage, about your credentials, your specialties, whatever you want. So on the next tab here, under messages, these are all the emails that I've gotten from my agent, whether they sent me a couple listings, whether they set me up with auto notification, they sent me driving directions. It keeps all of their emails right here for them. In the past, if your client wanted to refer to an email that you sent them, they'd have to go to their inbox, look for your name, click on it. Oh, that's not the one I want. Go back to their inbox, look through the jokes and the spam till they find your name again, so on and so forth till they find the right one. They no longer need to do that. All they need to do is go to their portal and all of their real estate related emails right there. How do they get to their portal? The first time you share any information with them, you send them a couple listings, you set them up for auto notification, you send them statistics, whatever. They get that first email and they click on the link in the email, it's going to open up in their portal showing them the information that was in the email. Once they get to their portal the first time, they can bookmark it, they can save it as a favorite. From then on, they can go directly to it. There's no login, there's no password. The next tab over here, we said they could categorize their listings. Here's their favorites. Here's their possibilities. So they can go through these, they can recategorize listings. Maybe this favorite over here, you'll notice this one pending. Now, if they have something categorized, they have it in a folder, it's going to stay in that folder until they take it out. So if it's going off the market, that type of thing, it's going to show them that. And the reason for that is hopefully to motivate them, because they're going to see the ones that they really, really like, somebody else is buying. So it may motivate them. But now this one here, well, it was one of my favorites, but now there's a contract on it, so I can make it a possibility. So they can work with the listings. And the whole time you're being informed of that in Matrix. Now when you give your client access to their portal, and you do that simply by sharing information with them out of the MLS, when you give them access to their portal, you're giving them access to the MLS. Well, I saw some eyes go up there. Wait a second, I don't want them to have access to the MLS. They won't need me. You're giving them access to client-friendly information. The same type of information that they can get on Realtor.com or these other websites, but you're giving them access to the true data. This will probably never happen to you guys, but I've heard from a couple people across the country. They'll get a call from their client. Their client wants to go see 123 Main Street. The agent will get up in the MLS, they'll pull up 123 Main Street, and 123 Main Street sold a month ago. The client tells them, oh no, you're wrong, I'm on the internet. It's still for sale on Zillow.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that has happened to you?
Every day.
Like every day?
Yeah.
That won't happen. If they're running searches, they can search up here the entire MLS. And if a listing went off the market this morning and they run a search, they're not going to find it. And they shouldn't. It's not available. If a house changed price 2 seconds ago and they pull up that listing, they're going to see the correct price. They're looking at the MLS data. What they're not going to see is all those ads for other agents that are on those other websites. The only contact information they're going to have is yours. So if they have a question, who do you think they're going to call? They're going to call you. keeps you tightly connected to your clients. Some agents will ask me, well, my client bought a house, and so now how do I turn off their portal? You don't want to turn off their portal. 2-3 months down the road, they're all moved into their house, and company comes and visits, and they go, wow, this Kingman area is really kind of nice. I wonder if there's anything I can afford here. Huh, I've got access to the MLS. Let's go look. As soon as they go look, their name pops up in recent portal visitors. You know it's time to give them a call. 3-4 years down the line, they've had a couple children, and now they need a bigger place. Ah, I have access to the MLS. Let's go see what's available. 4 years later, their name pops up in recent portal visitors. It's time to give Jessica a call. You don't want to delete their portal. That's your connection. That's how you get them to use this. This is a big deal. No one else can give them this sort of information except a realtor. It's a big deal. We're going to talk a lot more about the portal throughout the session, and like I said earlier, I'm going to show you how to make it look the way that you want. Also, I want to mention, while they're on here running searches, they're searching. They can search the entire MLS. And maybe they'll find another area they like. Or maybe they'll decide, you know, I think I'd like to have a weekend home down in Lake Havasu too. They can save a search so they can refer back to it. Now they can save searches on other websites, but the difference is if they save a search on your portal, you know about it. It tells you in their contact record, hey, Jessica's also looking over here. Here's the listing she's looking at. So again, it keeps you totally informed of everything your client's doing.